I guess Zach and I would be what are called part-time nomads, meaning that, like, personally, we're great friends. We met in Playa del Carmen, actually a Nomad location, and we're both from New York City. So my home base currently is in New York City, and outside of living there, basically whenever I get sick of the cold, I'm able to pick up and go to an awesome exotic location to relive life there and work on my business and truly experience life in that location.
And for me, I've always loved traveling. When I was younger, every year my parents would take me and my brother to like one big destination every year. We went to Australia and London and different national parks in the United States. And then I went studied abroad in Madrid, Spain, and that really opened my eyes to traveling. And I always continued to travel, even while working corporate. I would take like 2 big trips every year. And again, like this is the first time though where I have this ability to be like, I'm going to extend my trip, or I'm going to go to this destination. I don't have that like that pit in the back of my stomach of like knowing I have to go back, or like that I have this like deadline to return. But I love traveling so much, especially seeing it when I studied abroad and started traveling by myself more so, is the ability to meet new people all around the world, see different perspectives, try new food. Like I do keto at home, but when I travel, I eat everything because I want to experience the culture, and I want to just experience life in this new city and practice a new language like Spanish, and it's just so much fun for me.
So I kind of got into entrepreneurship like 5 or 6 years ago. I was always in the tech space. I used to work for a big Fortune 500 travel company, and I was a tech guy there, just writing code and everything, and it was just a little bit soul draining, having to report into the office every day at the exact same time. So I really desperately wanted to get out, and I saw my opportunity to do that like 5 or 6 years ago. So I built up some savings, I took the leap, and I never really looked back. And I've just been kind of working for my own self since then. I've gone through a couple different business ideas before I landed on the latest one, which is WebinarKit, that I work on with my partner Stefan. And yeah, it's just been an amazing experience. It's allowed me to meet, awesome new people, not have a boss that I have to report to. I can be my own boss. I can work from where I want, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
And there's a lot of digital nomad hubs popping up all over the world now.
For sure. So why do you, just curious, Stefan, so like for me, community is really about like the ability to connect with someone amazing, and like and they could really help your business or just help you in life, and just enhances your life. What are your thoughts on community?
So I like building community. We're both community builders. It's also why we got along so well, I think. For me, community means connection with someone who you have something in common with, some sort of common ground. And in this day and age, it feels like connection and community are at an all-time low. So the ability to go around the world and connect with different people that you share something in common with, you might share a certain outlook on life, or maybe you share different outlooks on life, but you connect in some other way. You gain perspective, you gain hearing different opinions, which is basically perspective, but also you can form amazing lifelong friendships, and you never know, there could be romance, there could be all of these other things that could come about by just basically broadening your horizons and traveling to these different locations, meeting people from around the world. The world has become so much more global now, especially for someone who's nomadic.
Yeah, and it's funny, like when we joined these WhatsApp groups in Medellin, there was a few people that I already had their phone numbers from Playa del Carmen.
Yeah.
So like Nomads, you definitely see this this overlap wherever you go. You'll meet people that know you, mutuals, and yeah, that's the beauty of
It's a unique
traveling.
way of making the world feel small.
Oh, totally small. And Instagram has done that, and WhatsApp has done that as like a means of communication to create connection and stay in touch with people.
Yeah. I'm the co-founder of WebinarKit. I used to be a mechanical engineer, and in 2015 I actually left my job and started a life of working for myself because I wanted to live in a big city and I wanted to be able to travel whenever I wanted. It's been an interesting journey, I'd say, so far. There were a lot of ups and downs. I had a lot of different business models, but currently my main focus is a software called WebinarKit with a great friend.
So we chose Medellin because we've heard nothing but great experiences or great stories about other digital nomads that come here. I also have a friend who's from Colombia, and he's told me good things about the city as well, just in terms of visiting and travel. Stefan and Zach have actually already been here a few times, I believe. So granted, I think one time was during COVID, so maybe it wasn't the best experience, but they know it's been a fun time.
So I started Filter Off because I was sick and tired of online dating. I was avid online dater, and I would swipe for hours and message, and oftentimes it would lead nowhere. Or when I would go on a date, oftentimes they didn't look like their photos, or we didn't have chemistry. And what I started doing was I would ask my dates beforehand if they'd be open to video chatting. And the dates that agreed, it made all the difference in the world, because I got to see who they were, I got to see if we vibed and had chemistry. And about 4 years ago, I started Filter Off with my co-founder. We got out of beta a month before the pandemic, and that's when it really took off.
So we're outside our WeWork right now, where you can see that there's an amazing view. This is one of the things I really love about being in Medellin, is that the WeWork here, you can see such an amazing view of the entire city. I'm here with my business partner, Phil, who is also one of my closest friends since high school, and we are now ironically business partners. Phil does the development and I do the marketing, and we've got a team that works in the Philippines, and it allows us to kind of have this flexibility to work wherever we want, which has been pretty amazing.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the reasons I got into working for myself. I know for you as well, Stefan, we were both kind of sick of that corporate grind and the whole 9 to 5 and just having to go in every single day and being kind of like, you know, we had to own up to our bosses all the time and everything like that. So this gives us the flexibility to work when we want, where we want, in amazing, beautiful countries like Colombia, here in Medellin. We can go somewhere else after this if we wanted. We can go back to New York, unlikely, but right now in New York it is a little cold, so that's kind of why we came here, to enjoy this beautiful weather.
So one thing that is a little tricky when you're remote working is if you're in an exotic location, sometimes it's a little hard to focus on your work because you're so excited by all of the things that there are to do, like meet people, do excursions. So one thing that you need to know how to do when you travel is balance your work with actually all the fun stuff that you want to do. You have to make sure that you get that work in, because that work is what fuels your ability to actually enjoy being in these locations. But I think it's a small price to pay.
Whenever I travel, I definitely incorporate working out. I think it's like super important to keep up with my routine. I have a trainer that I work out with virtually 4 days a week. So I just find a gym in the city that's inexpensive. In Medellin, it's literally $4 USD a day, and it has Wi-Fi. So I can connect and do a virtual training on Zoom, and it just makes me feel so good, and it allows me to keep routine and discipline.
The purpose of these events is to bring together people who have a yearn for travel and business, who want to be like location independent and have freedom, that they make their own money and that they live anywhere in the world. And this is exactly the type of person that this type of event attracts.
Yeah, they're social, but they're also work. You can get new clients from it, you could build new relationships, it can help you with your business, learn new skills. So like, we're running events in the evening, few hours every night, so that also it helps our work and influences it.
Exactly, and like you just said, like you meet a ton of people that are also doing businesses and stuff, so it's a great way to network and just meet people that are kind of doing tangential stuff, and it's just a great way to kind of expand your network and learn new things that might help you down the road.
I mean, like one example, last night I recall Phil speaking to someone at the event. They're like, oh, I'm actually interested now trying out WebinarKit. There was a value that they needed. Like with Filter Off, we're running this event at Selena on Saturday, allowing for for singles to meet one another, leveraging Filter Off's platform where they can get a free drink. So again, it's like we tie a lot of our activities to our businesses, and we attract people that could potentially find value from our business as well, just by basically the energy that we put out.